really starts. Okay, peace really starts inside, in your own heart. And as Cheyenne said so beautifully, in our hearts, as we were created, we each got a little drop of that great puzzle. And it's the drop that we're meant to share in the world. It's the drop that we place into the pond of universal consciousness that starts creating our ripple. Every great ripple begins with one single drop. So today I'd like to suggest to you that as we create the ripple of peace, it isn't something that we wait for. It's something that we create. Peace is something that we choose. Every one of us has a little piece to create that ripple, and we choose how much of that piece we share, with whom, under what circumstances, and how strongly we advocate for that ripple. Creating the peace inside is about the things we tell ourselves, self-talk. And I don't know about you, but I have had a lot of negative self-talk in my life, mostly because I borrowed that perception of myself from other people rather than from myself or from source. So I'd suggest that peace begins with taking on the first message from source, which is you are loved, you matter, and you are worthy. And that becomes the self-talk from which you can create your peace ripple. Peace is an active practice. It's not something that's passive. It's not pretending things are okay. It's not acting as if. It's not fake it till you make it. It's make it until it ripples out. Sometimes it requires listening with a deeper ear, tuning out all the things around us. And I'm here to tell you that peace isn't always easy. It takes courage. But peace travels at the speed of conversation and connection. My peace travels by meeting your peace, by my ripple meeting your ripple. Every time we choose curiosity over certainty, listening over judging, responding instead of reacting, we keep spreading our peace ripple. Here in the Heart's Voice movement, we have a vision of concentric circles of that ripple that is actually mirrored in today's agenda. We start with the ripple inside, the self. Then we move to family, career and business, community, and the wider world. Start with your self-talk. Remind yourself that you are loved, that you matter, and that you are worthy. And let your peace ripple out into the world until the wave of peace washes over all of humanity, and we are the divine community that God imagines. Cheyenne, I can't hear you.
She's muted herself.
Yeah. Well, I'm busy trying to mute other people. Oh, so sorry. Is that your completion, Miss Gail?
That is my completion, except to invite you to join me in the Heart's Voice movement. We have an open public Facebook group and do a gathering of hearts the first Friday of every month, just to come and share your heart and to be listened to with great love. So I'd invite you to join me there. And I want to make sure that we have time for all the ripples that are coming today. I'm really looking forward to hearing that ripple grow so that we can hear the sound of it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Gail, and thank you for that invitation. I have gone to some of her events, and there is just beautiful people that are there. You absolutely would love it. So definitely look her up on Facebook group with the Heart's Voice Movement. So next up, we have Mr. Carl Johann Schroeder, and he is a spiritual teacher and life coach who shares techniques of consciousness for connecting with your higher self to live heaven on earth. His soul family guides him in the ongoing development of a system for personal evolution that he calls Inner Selves Mastery. So take it away, Carl.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Cheyenne. So what I like to work with a lot is the energies of positive and negative, helping people to understand how to master the basic choices in life. Gail mentioned the negative self-talk. We need to understand where the negative self-talk comes from. It comes from the fact that we are each divine creators. This entire world is not generating our consciousness, it is within our consciousness. Consciousness generates the world. Each one of us is the entire universe, an entire universe in which we have the consciousness point of our life here on Earth, and we need to choose our settings on all possible possibilities. Each of us has all possibilities within us. So it's kind of like a DJ with a big mixing board. You know, imagine like you can set all the tunings. You're like, I want some less evil. I want some more good. I want some more this, more that. So we need to understand that beliefs generate experience. It can seem like the other way around, that experience generates beliefs, but experience reinforces beliefs. With mindfulness, we can come to the level of awareness, self-awareness, at which we can see that our choices for what to believe, what to agree with, that actually generates our reality in terms of what we can and cannot do. So a fundamental concept is to understand that there are positive and negative beliefs, positive and negative choices. The basic difference is that positive energy, positive beliefs say that everything fits together. The entire universe is for you, is helping you, so that you can learn to set your settings, your tunings on the big parameter, the big mixing board of life. Negative beliefs say that there are things that don't belong, that you have to focus on what is against you. You have to find your enemies and you have to destroy them. So we see a lot of people in the world today who are hyper-focused on their enemies. Even people who want peace and want good are still hyper-focused on their enemies. What we need to understand is that seems only necessary at the human level. We have two main levels of consciousness. We are the human beings who live within the belief systems. So that's where we do the best we can with how we understand the world to currently be. Then we're also spiritual beings. We can rise above belief systems. And that's where we can see this big mixing board of what we like and don't like in life. And we can change our choices. We can change our beliefs. When I want to mention I'm going right into some great material here. I run a lot of groups to help people get this material. Every Sunday I have my equivalent of church. Every Monday I have a dream group. The middle Tuesdays I run a mystic experiences sharing group. I love to run events where people can get together and feel that you are normal to be having spiritual psychic experiences. You don't have to connect with the world of people who want war. You can connect with the world of people who want peace. So I want to leave you with this fundamental concept. There's a lot of judging, labeling in life where people want to say something is only good or only bad. And that is itself the problem. Negativity is about trying to make things fit in a certain box. This will always be good. This will always be bad. You're a good person if you always do the good things with me. You're a bad person if you do something I don't like, that I don't agree with. That is completely false, not true. Remember, you have your own mixing board on the entire universe. So to understand a fundamental practice is if you see something you don't like, so that's maybe negative to you, but also consider how it might be positive to somebody else and what might be a positive use of all things. And if you see something that seems only positive to you and you start judging people who don't do that, consider how it might not be good for them. So there are two kinds of judgment. We often hear that, ego is bad, judgments are bad. No, everything has a positive and negative form. Positive ego is your human being. Negative ego is your survival self who can get really nasty. So with judgments, there are two kinds of judgment. Negative judgments are when, well, actually both kinds of judgment, to be clear, both kinds of judgment are an opinion. Your opinion on whether something's good or bad. Now, negative judgments are when you try to make an absolute rule for everyone, and you then enforce rewards or punishments if people follow that rule. So something's good for me. I like blueberries. Everybody should like blueberries. You are evil if you don't like blueberries. That seems absurd, but that is exactly the kind of negative judging people are doing constantly. So negative judgments are an opinion of what's good for you, plus a punishment if you don't agree. Positive judgments are about live and let live. I have an opinion of this is good for me. I practice it. I get into it. And if I can recommend it, I can suggest it, but honestly, only you know what's right for you. So positive judgments are an opinion plus a participation in society where you show your light, you shine your light, but you don't punish people if they do something a different way. You live and let live. So positive judgments, you're collecting your path in the universe, what's right for you. You get into that. That energy is what protects you. You do not need to defend against or judge against things that are against you. Even though there are enemies out there, they won't even see you. You won't see them. You will be in different worlds of energy if you practice positive judgments. The very nicest people, if they practice negative judgments, they will be in the space of people who are against other people. And that's when people feel unsafe and have continual negative self-talk. So practice positive judgments, practice understanding the positive use of all things, and let yourself tune in naturally to the world of peace. Thank you.
Yeah. That was awesome, Carl. Thank you so much. Absolutely right on target in terms of where we are in the world right now. And we can choose peace. It does not require that everybody think the same. In fact, we'd be really bored if everybody did. Good deal. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let me go back to sharing screen because I believe next up is our business partner and longtime friend is Mr. Richard Mabe. And we're going to get to hopefully get his slides to work here. There we go.
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay, yes, let me read here. So Coach Rick Mabe is a professional life coach, facilitator, and speaker based in Virginia, founder of the Hope Institute in the Reedville area. He focuses on providing a message of hope, which, as you will see, is an acronym, working with young adults and community members through personal development and support services. So welcome to the stage, Mr. Rick.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Real quick, I want everybody to just stop, close your eyes, clasp your hands together, and I want us to do a little affirmation work before I do my presentation. This helps bring us all together. What we're going to do is go like this. Exhale out and bring your hands up to welcome the information from the universe and from God. Bring your hands back together and imagine where your most prosperity and peace will look like to you in your subconscious. And so you blow out, expelling all the air out of your lungs. Inhale. Thank you. That will absolutely awaken your channel from your heart to your brain to the universe to God to channel information and love. So to carry on with my presentation now, I'll do this as quickly as possible because I know that I'm likely to try to go over and I'll try not to. So moving right along here, in hope I walk, in light I love. That is the profound statement that we should all be making to ourselves and to others as we look for guidance and enlightenment. And in the next slide, what's happening today? We view others as rivals for scarce resources and validation, defaulting to transactional survival and conflict instead of growth. Healing ancestral shadows by first addressing the dynamics of our own hearts will get us to where we need to be. And then the next slide. The inner spirit versus legislation. Global policies and treaties act only on the surface of conflict. Real world peace can't be legislated. It has to be built inside the human spirit. Universal peace is the collective reflection of individual inner alignment. When one soul elevates, the surrounding environment begins to change, which is what that breathing exercise helps us do to elevate ourselves. Your essence navigation is very important. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit here. Let me slow down a little quick here. Okay. The next slide. Your heart behavior, honesty versus truth. Honesty is a pure quality of the heart that can't be counterfeited or manipulated, unlike truth, because that can be sometimes be weaponized to maintain division or to create our message that we want people to believe, even though it may not be backed by honesty. So honesty is a way of life. It's pure. It's altogether pure. Without radical honesty, our spiritual foundation begins to fray, leaving us trapped in stagnation. So that's the first part of the hope formula is the honesty. We must be honest with ourselves and others. I'm having a little problem with my slides here on my side, so I'm trying to get down there to the next one, which doesn't seem to be wanting to let me do. Why is that? All right, I'm just going to go back to my presentation with you guys and just look at
I
the
was gonna
slides.
say, can you see on the screen? I
Yeah,
hope so.
no, I see. I was looking at my notes and my notes weren't acting right, so I'm back over here with you guys. Sorry about that. So openness is releasing barriers, right? We must accept our belief system as God gives it to us when we're born. We must be open to the possibility that God created us in his own image to be creators in our own right. And when we create in our own right with our free will granted to us, then we must exercise responsibility and accountability for what we do. Faith is very vulnerable, as you can see in what's going on around the world right now, and even more importantly, what's going on within our country. We have to break down the walls and barriers in order to find a pathway forward. So that's openness. And the next piece of the puzzle is pure love. Pure love is the ultimate antidote to all conflict. It builds bridges where bridges could not be built without pure love. When you love someone with pureness of the heart, you neither ask for reciprocity and you expect nothing in return. You love. Even if someone takes the life of someone you love, you have to forgive and you have to love them, even though you may do it from a very long distance. So that's pure love. And Jesus was teaching that all through his ministry, that pure love is the healer. And then what's really cool is your essence. That's the E in the hope formula. We are all born with a destiny. God did not create us to just come here and be blobs on the planet and do stupid things. Although some of the things that God gave us a vision and a message to do often seem crazy to other people. So the essence is of your true identity. And we have been so pounded by outside alternatives to our own true identity that we sometimes live in a world that is not feeding our heart brain resonance. So we have to open that up and find the essence that you were built for. And that's what we do at the Hope Institute. When you can play, when you work, when your work is play and you love what you're doing, you've most likely found your essence. Some people recently, I've seen some young people recently who are exhibiting genius every day. They might even not be teenagers yet, but they are writing the future with what they have been taught within themselves and their essence through the universe and God. And so that's your infinite why. We are all part of this beautiful creation, and we're all in the same tribe. You know, we were created to have tribes for a reason. And the tribes bring us together to understand the differences between us and to love without expectation of reciprocity. So that's find your identity, and you will be prosperous, and we will find peace throughout the world. And then next, how to become a lighthouse. You have to shift your frequency in your mind and your heart. And that's what we do with breathing. That's what we do with prayer. That's what we do with affirmations and so forth. We shift our method. So the lighthouse principle is how we're going to get there. Next slide, please. So there it is, your hope inventory. Everyone must do their individual inventory of their situation. You must do an honesty assessment to look at your current situation. You must openly accept your beliefs and share them without any doubt in your mind. You must love purely, which is one of the hardest ones. To love purely today is to love no matter what they are, who they are, how they are. You have to love them. And then with your essence, you must embrace that essence and live it. Again, this is what we teach at the Hope Institute. This is what the three of us, Don, Shay, and I, work on every day. And the next slide. So here's how I want you to finish this thing out. When you go through the hope inventory with us, when we show you the process, the workbook, the steps you have to go through to become hope again, you learn your affirmations. Here's mine. I pay attention to what my heart's telling me, and I embrace my honesty. I have the power given to me by my Creator to connect to the universe through my hope system to create my own heaven on earth, thus peace. Reach out to me at rickmabe@livinghopeinstitute.org, and we can discuss this further. And we hope to build communities soon that are going to be able to help people learn hope positively. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rick. I love the messaging for sure. We've always been a fan, and I know there's some other folks here who are very familiar with the hope message. So think about that and just understand. One of the things that stood out for me was just the idea that we were made in the image and likeness of creators. We were born to create. And that's what we encouraging people to do here today, is to be part of this and to be involved in helping to create this peace ripple. I love Gail kind of was starting with, our individual peace ripples. And by the time we get to lunchtime, we're going to be talking about how we go about starting to build that inclusive and collective peace ripple. So there we go.
Thank you.
So next up, we have Miss Siobhan Gibson. And Siobhan is the founder of The Harmonious Path and has spent more than 2 decades helping individuals reconnect with their authentic selves through energy medicine, self-discovery, and conscious transformation. An ordained minister and certified EMF balancing technique practitioner, she believes that lasting peace begins not by striving for perfection, but by understanding and embracing our true nature. Through her work, she guides others towards greater harmony, resilience, and wholeness. Welcome to the stage, Siobhan.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. And welcome to Forging Peace, the journey from self-rejection to wholeness. As Cheyenne said, I am Siobhan Gibson, founder of the Harmonious Path and the Identity Recalibration Program. I'm here to help you understand your true nature as the first step to harmony and how that understanding shapes belief systems. Next slide, please. What if peace is not the absence of conflict? If someone who knows you best were standing beside you today, would they say that when life becomes difficult, you move toward yourself or away from yourself? We've been taught to believe that peace is something we achieve once life becomes calm, once the conflict ends, once we've healed. But what if peace is something much deeper? Today, I'd like to offer a different perspective. Peace is the harmony that emerges when we stop waging war against ourselves. Before we go any further, I'd like to invite you to do something. Think about the last time you experienced conflict. Maybe frustration, disappointment, fear, grief, or uncertainty. When these moments arise, what happens inside of you? Do you become curious or critical? Do you fight the experience or allow yourself to move through it? How long does it take before you find your way back to yourself? For many of us, peace isn't lost because conflict appears. Peace is lost because we begin fighting ourselves. We often define peace as no conflict, no anger, no fear, and no struggle. Yet none of us actually live there. Sounds lovely. Every one of us experiences disappointment, uncertainty, grief, frustration, and change. If peace depends on eliminating those experiences, then peace will always remain just out of reach. So perhaps peace is not the absence of conflict. Perhaps it is our relationship to conflict. Next slide, please. Most of our suffering doesn't come from emotions themselves, it comes from fighting them. How many of us have told ourselves, I shouldn't feel angry. I should be over this. A spiritual person doesn't feel this way. I know I've said that many times. That inner conflict was quite troubling for a while. That inner resistance creates an internal civil war, an internal struggle of comparisons, ideologies, criticism, all void of peace. Through my work with the Harmonious Path, I've learned that every part of ourselves has a voice. Every part serves a purpose. Even anger, even fear, even grief. Those parts aren't our enemies. Often they're trying to protect something that matters deeply. Peace begins when we stop abandoning ourselves. Next slide. The guiding principle of my work is simple. Understanding our true nature is the first step toward harmony. First, we become aware. Then we accept. Only then can we integrate. Understanding doesn't mean fixing. Acceptance doesn't mean approving of every behavior. It means allowing every part of ourselves to be seen with compassion. So harmony isn't created by removing pieces. Harmony is created when every part finds its proper place. Just it's in the example of this kintsugi bowl. Oh, not yet. I'd like you to think of that emotion again. Can you understand why it appeared? Can you accept that it was trying to protect something? If so, harmony has already begun. Next slide. I love the word forge. A forge is not comfortable. It contains fire, pressure, heat, and transformation. Metal becomes stronger because it passes through the fire, not because it avoids it. Perhaps all our lives are the same way. The challenges we face are not always obstacles to peace. Sometimes they become the very place where peace is forged. Think of the phoenix rising from the fire during those challenges. You will rise above. It is just momentary. Next slide. For a long time, I believed peace was something I would eventually arrive at. And boy, did that cause me a lot of stress. It was the opposite of peace. Today, I understand it differently. Peace is something we return to again and again, not because life becomes perfect, but because we stopped rejecting ourselves in the midst of life's imperfections. How many of us here have judged ourselves? Tomorrow, there will still be challenges. There will still be uncertainty. There will still be moments when you lose your way. My hope isn't that you never experience those moments again. My hope is simply that you learn to return to yourself a little sooner and with a little more compassion. Peace is not perfection. Perfection, or rather the idea of perfectionism in human development, is a myth, in my opinion. We are all a work in progress our entire life. Peace is wholeness. Thank you, and welcome to the Harmonious Path.
Okay, well, some of my controls here kind of moved around on the screen, so I apologize for any delays. But thank you so much, Siobhan, and I love that, and just how you described the whole idea of the forge is amazing for sure, because it does get a little hot when we're trying to go through some of that internal work to be able to find that internal peace. And yet it is so important for us to be doing. So thank you for the work that you're doing for sure. All right. Well, next up, we have Dr. Ainsley Kincross. Ainsley is a PhD and a certified emotion code and body code practitioner with 35 years as an MIT trained architect. Isn't that interesting? Slightly different from what she does now. Her passion for nature and her ability to bring it inside gave way to discovering energy healing through her own health challenge, and now helps midlife women transition persistent health challenges into a pathway for healing, restored vitality, and deeper purpose. She also happened to start a peace walk in her hometown in Durango, Colorado, in honor of the walk that the monks did to Washington, D.C. So thank you for being here, Ainsley. Take it away. I don't know. I'm not seeing you at the moment, DS, so I hope you're here. And oh, did I go by her? Because I'm not, she must not be unmuted. I don't see. No. Did we lose her? Oh my goodness.
No, I'm
There she-
here. I was muted.
There you go. That's the thing. We do ask people to stay muted when they're not presenting. So thank
Oh,
you.
sorry about that. So yeah. So Cheyenne, thank you so much for everything that you and Dawn have done and everyone else to put this together. And I just want to acknowledge how much heart there is in this group this morning. I'm really honored to be here. So I'm just feeling like we're all participating in this forging peace, and there will be a ripple effect. So I want to get down to maybe, in contrast to the previous presentations, it's more the nuts and bolts of doing this work and how another perspective on how this can work as an energy healer that I bring. So if you think of the last time someone said something that set you off, you felt offended, you felt irritated or angered or something like that. And then later you wondered, why did I react so strongly to that? Has anybody had that experience?
Here.
Yeah, so that's kind of the opening sense of like exploring that, why that happens. So we're all here today because we know that peace is a solution, and it's the beginning with the individual experience living in peace whenever we can. And it's the root condition to a happy life. We all say we want it. So why is it so difficult to bring into reality? What are we missing here? And we do know, as people have already said, that peace isn't something governments can legislate. And we know peace begins with me and then extends outward to our families, our neighbors, and then communities. So I work with clients in this territory as an energy healer, as a certified emotion and body code practitioner. And what if much of our reactivity, our defensiveness, our inability to really hear each other with our hearts as well as our physical ears and minds has a physical energetic cause? What if we could actually do something about it? So what if this emotional baggage, which is a common term and often a negative judgment, what if it isn't just that, but what if it's something we all carry and there's a science to it? So next slide, please. I think you need to go back one. If you could, Cheyenne. Oh, no, wait, we're on it. Thank you. So in energy medicine, emotions are not just feelings that we feel anger or we feel irritation or frustration. They're energy with a measurable frequency. When a strong emotion hits and we don't fully process it because it's either overwhelming, we push it down because that's what we've been told to do, or things move so quickly that we don't have time, this frequency can become trapped in our energetic body. And the energy body is another name for the spirit, another word for the spirit. So like a song stuck on repeat, playing the same low tune over and over and over again, this goes on for years or even decades. There it is resonating in our bodies. So Dr. Bradley Nelson, who developed the emotion code, has said that, and this is on the slide, trapped emotions can damage our relationships by causing us to make wrong assumptions, overreact to innocent remarks, and misinterpret the behavior of others. So someone says something offhand and you feel a sudden surge of hurt or anger that seems bigger than the moment. That disproportionate reaction Often it's an old trapped emotion resonating with the current situation and making it, sort of amplifying it. A friend or coworker doesn't reply to a message and our mind makes assumptions about why, leading ourselves down a rabbit hole that causes us to either ignore them or nurse a hurt for months. So we can't forge peace with others when we are being hijacked by old energies that we don't even know are there. This is not weakness or dysfunction. It's simply how unprocessed emotional energy behaves. Most of us are carrying more of this than we realize. And the good news is it can be released. Okay, now we can go to the next slide. And this is a simplified chart of frequencies. And starting with, and this may be a little small for you, but down at the bottom are things like shame and guilt. They're the lowest frequencies, and they're in like 20, 30 hertz frequency. And then the chart moves up through grief, fear, anger, into more neutral, kind of neutrality, and then goes into acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace. So where we want to be is up there in the top of the chart, so to speak. And because of these lower frequencies that have been trapped in the body from childhood, from other, anything we've gone through, difficult childhood experiences, divorces, loss of people who are close to us, perhaps even having been in combat as a military service member. So these trapped emotions make it difficult to really experience an ability to respond, to pause, to feel compassion. So if I have trapped emotions of pride, which I have had and probably still do, fear or anger, it's more difficult to respond with reason, with love, with compassion. And I think we see this a lot in the world today. There just seems to be an absence of empathy and compassion. It's like trying to tune into a radio station that's playing up there at 500, but your receiver is stuck at 150. You're going to only hear distortions. That's why we misread people, why we assume the worst, and why we react before we really listen. So the impact extends outward as a ripple, in a way, from our personal peace and where we live a lot in our heads to our relationships with people close to us and out into the broader community. So what can we actually do about this? This is where the emotion code comes in. So next slide, please. And I've got a photo here of the 3 books that Dr. Bradley Nelson, who is was a chiropractor for 35 years practicing in Utah, wrote and has published. They've been widely purchased, read. People use this process with their immediate family members, on themselves, and become practitioners, as I am. So just briefly, it's a gentle, non-invasive method for identifying and releasing trapped emotional energies from the body. And it doesn't require talk therapy, reliving the past. It simply asks your subconscious mind, that knows where all of these energies are stored in the body, using muscle testing, what is ready to release. And then we release it using intention, which we all know from quantum physics is what moves waves and particles and creates. So our intention is big. And the results are more ease, less reactivity, a quiet inner world, or quieter inner world, greater capacity for connection. And I want to briefly mention the heart wall. And so the Heart Code, which is the book on top of the stack, is the most recently published book that Dr. Nelson and his wife Jean wrote together. And this work I love doing, releasing heart walls. About 93% of humanity has what he calls a heart wall. And this is layers of trapped emotional energy that the subconscious mind has surrounded the heart with to protect it from intense pain. And the heart is our greatest instrument of connection. So when it's walled off, we feel disconnected, guarded, defensive, unable to truly feel what others are experiencing. We may find ourselves needing to control instead, or we just want to control situations or people because we don't feel safe. So releasing the heart wall is some of the most profound work I do with clients. And I believe that each person who releases their heart wall makes a real contribution to peace in the world. And by the way, there are now over 15,000 emotion code practitioners around the world in different languages. So this has been around for 19 years now, and it's a proven energy technology. So it's not just a practice or a mindset, it's a frequency, and we can create it by releasing trapped emotions, among all the other wonderful things that people are talking about here today. So just a couple resources. One, I encourage people to get a copy of the Heart Code or the Emotion Code, teach themselves how to do it. It's widely available and it's not difficult to learn to do for yourself. Second, visit discoverhealing.com. I'll put this in the chat and check out the resources there. And then if you're interested, excuse me, please reach out to me and I'd be happy to offer 30 minutes of my time as a consultation to give you a more complete understanding and to really listen to your inspiration and life goals and where you feel stuck. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you Thank you for caring about peace. And it really matters more than you know.
It absolutely does. And I have been involved with emotion code myself. It was one of the first things I learned about in the whole emotional healing space. I recommend it highly. And boy, I know about those heart walls. I find a lot of people dealing with those today. Has a lot to do with people who have challenges receiving. They give, but they don't know how to receive. So thank you for the work you're doing. Awesome, awesome. Well, next up, I'm hoping, I don't know, it's hard for me to see everybody on the screen while we're here, but Jeff, hopefully you're here and you can unmute. Jeff Soul.
Hello, hello. Yes, I'm here and
You're
I'm just yeah. Ah, yeah, I'm just glad to be here among all you beautiful people. I feel like this is a, a good group of people. And I will probably echo some things that I've heard already. But yeah, I'll say that we are not separate from the world. The disorder we see in the world and in politics has the same psychological issues as our own personal lives. It's a matter of conditioned and traumatized people leading the family or the masses, leading from fear, essentially, and passing on the limited beliefs they know. But in our own lives, we have a chance to break that cycle, to see what's not working and find better ways. When we change ourselves, we change our relationships, our family, and the society. So today I'll talk about something that, I've been through, how to deal with challenges with some groundedness, inner resilience for inner peace. So as we start, think about where you could use more resilience in your life. If you're up for it, drop a word or a phrase in the chat on where the challenges are, whether it's health or money, family issues or work issues, or general stress and uncertainty. Share what you're comfortable sharing in the chat, but there's no pressure. I just feel we're in a safe space where people want to help each other out. So I grew up with health issues, a genetic blood disorder that requires regular hospital treatments and home infusions when I was growing up. I still work through treatments today, and complications happened more recently, which really took me out. It was indeed a challenge. I got held back growing up from some things that normal kids would do, but my dad made sure I knew something important. I don't have to compare myself to anyone else. I have my own unique gifts and talents. Because there is the challenge itself, and there are stories about the challenge. I am different. I'm limited. I'll never have the same chances. But somehow I found my way into music, singing with bands, DJing, writing, and all kinds of creative work. Not because the challenges disappeared, but because I didn't have to let the challenge become the whole story or my whole identity. I didn't have to do what the other kids were doing. I found my own creative ways, and I found a way around the limitations. There were still bullies and critics along the way, but they couldn't see the whole picture of what was going on with me. They're just reacting from their own limited thinking and their own issues. And I think it's important to realize that. And it's been a struggle for me, honestly, to realize that as well. So there is the challenge, what we actually have to deal with, and there's the meaning we add to the challenge, the thoughts, feelings, interpretations, and stories. And that meaning can cause even more trouble. It's like adding more issues on top of the existing issues. The challenge is one thing, the story the mind adds is another. And inner resilience begins when we can start to see the difference between the fact of the challenge and the stories about the challenge. A simple example is driving. Someone cuts you off. That's the fact. But what happens when we take that personally? How dare they disrespect me? People are such idiots. Oh, I'll show them. Now we've lost our cool or a semblance of cool we had. The fact is, a car got in front of me. The story is they disrespected me and all the reactions that come from that story.
Speak.
And we've all done some version of this in our minds. We chase people all day. We replay what they said. We curse them in the shower. Of course, if we're dealing with an abusive or unsafe situation, we need to find support, safety, and practical help. But groundedness still matters because it helps us get unattached to any codependency and look for ways out. So the goal isn't to be calm every second because sometimes a reaction is what's necessary. We're not just following some stay calm rule. The goal is to come back to enough groundedness that we can see our next step. So how do we get a handle on this? First, we get some space, however we can. This is where the work is, where the deep breathing comes in, or take a walk to get away from the situation, and pausing before the reaction. But even if you can't get out of the scene, you can still get space in the situation by watching the situation. Watch what's going on. Watch your thoughts and feelings like an observer of the movie, or watch your family like a wacky sitcom. Not reacting to anything, not trying to change anything, just watching. Observer mode. What the heck is going on here? Okay, what story is my mind adding to what's happening? How am I feeling? Even the act of naming and acknowledging your feeling about the circumstances. See, we're not trying to escape our situations. We're trying to stay grounded and handle things better with more clarity. Then we can start to ask, is there another way to see this? Because maybe the mind is not always telling the whole truth. Maybe it's just seeing through our fears, doubts, and insecurities. Sometimes it takes talking it out with someone who can actually listen, but also point out where you might be in a thought cycle. So let's try this for a moment. Think of one place in your life where you could use more resilience right now. Nothing too overwhelming, just something real. Now ask yourself, what are the facts of what's actually happening? Not the whole drama, just the fact. Like, I feel this person in my life is rude. That's a fact. You feel that way. The feeling is the fact. Then ask, what story does my mind add to the situation? What am I telling myself this means about me, my future, my worth, or my life? And now ask, does that person or circumstance actually have that kind of power over my life? The only way is if you gave them power, maybe unwittingly. That person may be dealing with their own issues and traumas and how they were raised to believe, but how they affect you is up to you. They say difficult people and circumstances can teach us what we need to see about ourselves, like where we have insecurities, so we can see them and deal with that, not necessarily the other people. Then take it a step further. What else could be true? Not fake positivity, not pretending everything is fine, just a gentler, wiser truth that gives you more room to breathe. For example, the fact might be I'm exhausted. The story might be I'm falling behind or I'm failing. A wiser truth might be my body is asking for pause and care right now. I can move at my own pace. That little shift matters because the moment we can see the story, you're not completely trapped inside it anymore, and you can write a different story of how you overcame the challenges. So, this is where inner resilience begins, not by pretending the challenge doesn't exist, but by seeing clearly. When we can separate the fact from the story, we create space. And in that space, something wiser can come through. Curiosity can come through. Compassion can come through. A solution can come through. So thank you guys very much. And I do write and create some videos up at Awake Free, and there's a free ebook that goes over more of this material.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Jeff. That is incredible wisdom. It's about getting outside of yourself and seeing the truth of so many situations. And that is such valuable wisdom. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate you sharing with us. All right. Well, we are moving right along, moving right through, and we still got some incredible presenters here coming up. And I'm hoping that Miss Tanya Perry is okay. I keep seeing her drop off and come back on, so I hope she's got enough internet connection to be able to share with us. I will tell you about Miss Tanya. She is a trauma-informed educator and facilitator with more than 20 years of experience helping individuals and families create healthier relationships through connection, communication, and emotional awareness. As founder of the Evolve course, she teaches practical tools for nervous system regulation, cooperation, and lasting personal transformation. Her work includes exploring family dynamics, uncovering mistaken beliefs and the experiences that shape them, and helping people understand how these patterns can contribute to generational trauma and family disruption. She's rooted in the belief that peace in our communities begins with peace within ourselves and our families. Are you here, Miss Tanya? If you are, please unmute.
I'm here. I think I think Can you hear
Yep, you are. You're good. Go for it.
Excellent. Technical difficulties. I'm up now. Okay. So I'm very excited. Thank you for inviting me and letting me be here today. I love all the speakers thus far. It's been wonderful, all the information, and that we're all on the same page and we have a little bit of something different to offer. So where does peace actually begin? So if we look outside of ourselves, as most of the world does, they're going to look at there's problems globally. There's all these things going on in the world that are affecting my peace. It's affecting my peace. But the truth of the matter is that peace actually begins in our nervous system of every single human being. And we can have a lot of information. We can take a lot of classes. We can learn a lot of personal development. I've been in that industry for a long time. And one of the things that I found was that if I did not pay attention to my nervous system, I could hijack everything I'd already learned. So therefore, all the knowledge in the world wasn't doing me any good. And it actually, in my own personal life, caused me a lot of issues because I couldn't understand why I was this way. And why this is so important when it comes to peace and family is because if I am a dysregulated parent, as I was, I parent out of that dysregulation. It doesn't have anything to do with love. It has to do with the energy that I'm exhibiting and putting forth. And when I'm not regulated, my children and my spouse and other people that are in my vicinity will probably not be regulated either, especially if they're dysregulated. So the responsibility that I have is to learn how to regulate myself. And that is why I work with others, because I'm very passionate about when I became a mother, it was the most important thing to me in the whole wide world. And when I realized that I was really messing up, I didn't know what to do. And that's actually what led me to this work, because I wasn't feeling good about myself. And I was actually having a lot of suicidal ideation. Not that I would do it, but I thought about it a lot. So what I've learned is in regulating my nervous system, it helps me love myself. And by loving myself and accepting myself, I'm able to take responsibility for everything else in my life. And other people become more regulated too. When people do not feel seen, when people do not feel heard, when people don't feel safe, and people don't feel important, it's very important. The three safety things I teach parents is children need to feel seen, they need to feel heard, and they need to feel significant. It's a core values that we have as human beings, that we are seen. And when we don't get those things, we react. You've seen children throw a temper tantrum. Well, they're trying to communicate. And if we don't have the tools to understand what's going on with them, then we can be, our first impulse will be punitive. I don't know what's wrong with that kid. Why is it doing that? So the more that we understand ourselves and the more regulated we can become, the more present we can be for those that are in our life. This is important because if we have only learned to react to things in life, we're going to be more apt to get into conflicts that can get out of hand. Conflict in itself is not bad. What we want to do is peace, is the presence of connection. We want to be connected to each other, and we can have conflict, but we need to understand how to resolve that conflict in a very loving way. And as parents, when we learn these things, we're able to pass these things down to our children. So when we're looking at our kids and we see these misbehaviors, and there's Dreiker's named 4 misbehaviors. He was the behavior of attention, the behavior of power, the behavior of revenge, and the power of avoidance. When we understand those misbehaviors, then we can understand a way to redirect that behavior and bring it into a alignment and cooperation, because this is really what's lacking in the world. We've never learned how to cooperate with each other. On a whole, if we take the whole mass of what's going on in the world, like right now, and every single person that's involved in every single thing all have the same basic needs. I mean, it's crazy if you really, bring it down to just that level of what is really missing. So I'm really sorry. I had my thing set up here so I could see my time. But when children feel connected, they cooperate. And when they feel discouraged, they seek attention, power, revenge, and they give up easily. Now, I know everybody here has worked with somebody. Haven't you seen these same attributes in other people? It's like, what on earth is wrong with this person? You say one thing and they're triggered. And then they're behaving this way. That's like, what? It has nothing at all to do with what's going on. This is how we carry forward all these things we've learned in childhood and our relationships. We communicate this way. So adults are doing the same thing. Their temper tantrums look different. And I think that we could look at world leaders right now and see some of this even being displayed across the board of everywhere and everywhere, because people have not learned how to have control of themselves. They've not learned how to regulate their nervous system, and they don't understand how to get their needs met, which is connecting to others. And this connection is when we love each other, we can find peace because we have harmony when we're connected. One of the things I do is I do work with families. I teach parenting classes. I do one-on-ones. I do groups. I have the Evolve course. I have Evolve for Kids. I have a lot of different things. I'm in the process of redoing my website. So I don't have anything to leave you with except that, we don't need a bunch of numbers. We are smart. We can see that when people feel connected and valued, that the self-harm, violence, isolation, depression, and all these destructive behaviors, they decrease because human beings thrive in belonging. So I'll leave you with, if we want peace in our communities, we must create peace in our families. And if we want peace in our families, we must create peace within ourselves. And it's something we practice just one relationship at a time. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I can put my email address in the notes, the chat. That's what it is called, chat. I'm on this actually more than not, but I had to laugh with everything that went wrong. And I'm talking about dysregulated nervous system. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like everything went wrong at the wrong time. Oh, well, I always say it's perfect. However, it turns out it was perfect. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Very well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for moving through all the imperfections and being able to be with us this morning, Tanya. We appreciate you. And absolutely everything you're talking about is spot on. So, and a lot of our presenters, there is some repetition, but we need to hear these things over and over again. They're not taught in our schools. They're not taught in general. And we certainly know there's not a lot of people modeling these kinds of things. So, thank goodness we've got a group of people that has come together to do all of that. And I do want to make mention, if you got the email and you're here, anybody who does have any links or gifts or offers or whatever that they want to share with you, they're certainly able to put stuff here in the chat, but we will send a follow-up email with all that information too. So that way, if any of our participants want to be in touch with any of our presenters, they can do that because they all have so much to share with the world. Okay, well, thank you again, Tanya. And next up, we have a new friend to the We Care Partnerships Network. Her name is Linda Grace Farley, and she's out in Jacksonville, Florida. And we've been having a grand time talking to each other recently. Yes. So Linda Grace is a transformational mentor, author, and founder of Cycles of Life Management Services. With more than 3 decades in engineering and extensive training in conversational intelligence, quantum human design, and integrative healing modalities, she helps individuals and families break destructive communication patterns and build healthier, more conscious relationships. Linda's work blends science, psychology, and soul to guide communities toward clarity, compassion, and generational peace. Welcome, Linda Grace.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Cheyenne and Don. And I feel privileged to be among such amazing presenters today. I feel like I'm home, so thank you. Thank you for welcoming me. As we begin, I would like to ask you to help or come in and imagine with me. You live in a beautiful upscale neighborhood. Your home is an architectural gem, the kind that makes people slow their cars down just to admire it. The lawn, perfectly manicured. The landscaping is meticulously designed, colors and textures shifting with the seasons. Every detail is orchestrated so precisely that it begins and becomes the envy of your neighborhood. From the outside, it looks pretty magical. Now, step with me inside the front door. Cross that threshold and shut the door. Can you feel it? The atmosphere shifts. Darkness hangs in the air. The room is thick with residue of raw, unspoken emotions. The walls still vibrate with the remnants of earlier explosions. Words hurled like weapons. Silence wielded like a blade. A home should be a refuge, yet somehow it feels like a prison. You glance down at your watch. That familiar dread tightens within your chest. Any minute now, the children will burst through the door. Your spouse will come home from work, and this fragile quiet will be swallowed up by the chaos within. Voices competing, tempers flaring, bitterness simmering, resentment growing. And sometimes the most painful sound of all is the silence. This house may be beautiful, but the heart of the home is hurting. If you've ever felt even a piece of that scene, you're not alone. Every family, no matter how well their lives appear, carries moments where that atmosphere shifts. This is why we're here today. We live in a culture obsessed with appearances, exhibiting a polished image that gives the illusion that everything is perfect. A piece is not built on an image we present to the world, but rather it's built on the conversations we have, the tone of a voice, the listening, the presence, the honesty. And this is where communication intelligence, conversational intelligence, becomes a foundation for family peace. Our home is meant to be our sanctuary, place of refuge, restoration, and peace. But the truth of the matter is, most of us don't walk through the door empty-handed. We carry things with us. That stress from work, the pressure of expectations, the unresolved conversations, the disappointment we never voiced, the fatigue we never admitted. And without realizing it, we bring that weight of the outside world into the one place that was never meant to hold it. And this brings us to the foundation of everything I'm talking about today. Pillar one, it's the atmosphere of the home begins with the atmosphere of the heart. You've heard my fellow authors or presenters speak about this. Every person carries an inner climate, a mixture of emotions, beliefs, and unspoken stories. When we're overwhelmed, our home feels tense. When we're anxious, the home feels unsettled. When we're exhausted, the home feels brittle. When we're carrying unspoken hurt, the home feels heavy. Not because we're bad people, it's because we're human. The home becomes a sanctuary only when the hearts inside are tended to. Peace doesn't start in the living room. It starts in the inner room, the one where God meets you before anyone else does. And here's the hope. It only takes one regulated, grounded, emotionally present person to begin shifting the entire atmosphere of a home. One person who pauses before reacting, who breathes before speaking, who chooses presence over pressure, who brings peace instead of carrying chaos. We don't have to fix the whole family or carry everyone's burdens, even though we think we do. We don't have to be perfect. We simply have to tend to the atmosphere of our own hearts. Because the moment we shift, the home begins to shift with us. Pillar 2 is about listening to understand, not to win. Most conflicts in families don't come from what was said, but from what was not understood. When emotions run high, we stop listening to each other and we start listening for all those clues where we can engage in a conflict, the flaw in their argument, the moment we can jump in with our point of view. And when we do that, communication becomes the battlefield instead of a bridge. But when we listen, truly listen to understand, everything changes. Because understanding is not an agreement, it's a connection. It is the dignity that we share with another. It's love in action. Remember, the home is meant to be a sanctuary, and that sanctuary is created through safety. People feel safe when they feel heard, when their emotions are not dismissed, when their words are not weaponized against them. Families heal when listening becomes an act of compassion instead of competition. Jesus listened to people's hearts before he ever spoke of their behavior. He listened beneath the words for the wound, that initial wound that caused this. He listened for the truth that was trying to be spoken. And when we listen that way, with presence, patience, and humility, we become the instruments of peace in our own homes. We don't have to fix the whole conversation. We don't have to solve every problem in one sitting. We simply have to listen with the intention to understand. Because when one person listens differently, everyone begins to speak differently. Pillar 3, speak with clarity, not reactivity. Most of the damage done in families today doesn't come from intentional harm, but rather from an unregulated moment when we're tired or overwhelmed, when we feel unheard, unseen, or unappreciated. And in those moments, our words are delivered sharp, fast, and loud, not because we're unloving, but because we're uncentered. That reactivity creates fear of being open to communicate our feelings, while clarity creates the safety. Scripture tells us that life and death are the power of the tongue. Our words can build a sanctuary, or they can shake its foundation to the core. When we speak from clarity, from a grounded, prayerful, regulated place, our words become instruments of peace. They become invitations instead of accusations, bridges instead of barriers. What does clarity sound like, you may ask? I need a moment, please. Let me gather my thoughts. Or help me understand what you're feeling. When one person speaks from clarity, the entire emotional temperature of the home begins to shift. resulting in peace for when clarity becomes the language of the home. That sanctuary is restored. So today, I'm inviting you to make a simple, sacred choice. Choose to tend to the atmosphere of your own heart by listening with the intention to understand and speaking from clarity instead of reactivity. You don't have to change everything overnight. You just have to begin. And in the beginning, God will meet you at the door. When we tend to our inner world, our emotions, our tone, our presence, we begin to restore the sanctuary our families so desperately need today. I leave you with this. May the peace of God settle first in your heart and then ripple throughout your home. May your words become bridges. May your listening become another's refuge. And may peace begin in your home, one conversation at a time. And I thank you.
Wow, that was beautiful, Linda Grace. Thank you so much. I mean, I know some of the things you're talking about, Stephen Covey talked about many years ago. Seek first to understand and then to be understood. And that is so important.
Exactly.
And I recently heard somebody else say something that kind of struck me. They said, listen like you might be wrong. Isn't that an interesting idea?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. And that was truly powerful information. Okay, so next up, we have another new friend to the We Care Partnerships Network, Miss Andrea Randall. And she is a non-clinical, board-certified professional mental health coach and the visionary founder and CEO of Compassion Clinic Resource Center, a non-clinical, faith-based nonprofit dedicated to emotional and spiritual healing, all things we've been talking about today.
Yes.
Mrs. Randall's work bridges the gap between church, community, and professional institutions, ensuring that those in need receive compassionate, faith-driven support. So welcome, Andrea. Step on up. Let's hear from you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. And I have a confession to make. A few years ago, I was standing in that very kitchen of the home that she was describing. So it was a Tuesday. Nothing dramatic was happening. It was no crisis, no emergency. Nobody was sick, and I did not get a bad phone call. It was a completely ordinary morning. And then I walk into that amazing kitchen in that beautiful home, and I look in the sink, and someone left a few dishes in there. Not a pile of dishes, but just a few dishes. And then something in me shifted. My chest got tightened, a sharpness in my voice began to form, and it was all within 30 seconds. The temperature in my spirit even shifted. But nobody was yelling. Nothing had gotten broke. But I lost my peace in 10 seconds. And here's what got me when I sat with that later. I had literally handed over my peace voluntarily. And as you can see, that's the thing that we don't talk about enough. We don't usually lose our peace in the big blowups. We lose it in the small moments, the moments that we don't even notice that are already happening. A tone of voice, an eye roll, a text message that was left on read, a meeting that ran too long, a plan that begins to change, and now we're upset about it. So peace rarely happens in a storm. It leaves out in the ordinary day-to-day interactions and decisions that we make. Next slide, please. So if you've ever found yourself wondering somewhere in the middle of a perfectly good Tuesday, like myself, how did I get here? Where did my peace go? Who moved it? Then these next 8 minutes are just for you. And here's the story that most of us tell ourselves. That's just how I am. I'm a reactive person. I'm an emotional person. I've always been this way. And so I need to say something to you with the most compassion in me. That's a lie. It's not a malicious lie, and it's not even a conscious lie, but nonetheless, it's a lie. So here is the truth. You have not been born reactive. You've been practicing reaction so long that you believe it's a part of your personality. And there is a difference because personality is who you are, but practice is what you do every day. And the beautiful, terrifying, but also liberating thing about practice, you can change. You can change and shift that routine. Many of us are running on autopilot reactions and emotions. Somebody triggers us by something that they say or something that they do, and the nervous system fires right up. And guess what? We respond before we've even had a chance to choose how we really want to react. And so the unexamined reaction is the real thief of peace. Next slide. So now I want to shift something for you, because here's where it gets really powerful. If you grew up in church like I did, you've probably heard that peace is talked about as a feeling. It's an emotion, something that you actually receive, calm that descends and settles on your soul. And yes, there is real truth in that. And the peace of God absolutely is a gift. But I really want to show you how scripture talks about it. Because God doesn't just describe peace as something that you feel. He doesn't belittle peace to just an emotion. He describes it as something that you do. Psalms 34:14 says, seek peace and pursue it. My undergrad is in English. So if there's any English majors on here, you know that the word pursue is a verb, and a verb is an action. And so when we look at Philippians 4:7, the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds. Again, guard. Peace positions itself in such a way that now it's holding the line for you. Colossians 3:15 says, let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. That word let, see, that's all about giving permission. There again is an action. Pursue, guard, let, permission. So these three action verbs, these are three initiatives and three invitations that you can participate in. So I just proved to you that peace is not a personality type. However, it's a daily practice. And so it's available for every single one of us in this space on here today. and for those that will be watching. Next slide. So I'm not going to just leave you with a bunch of concepts today, but I definitely want to give you 3 practices that you can implement this week, but matter of fact, starting today. Practice number 1, I want to call the sacred pause. Before you react, take 1 breath. And as many of the other presenters have already demonstrated, the shift in the mind, the body when that happens. So ask yourself 1 question. Is this worth my peace? And you ask that during that sacred breath. 1 breath can create a gap between the trigger and your response. And in that gap is where your agency, your self-governance lives. The breath, that's a sacred pause. The holy ground between what happened and then what are you going to do next? Practice number 2. This is where I call it name it or tame it. When you label an emotion, you reduce its intensity. You don't suppress it, but you label it, such as, I'm feeling frustrated. I'm getting irritated. I'm feeling afraid. I'm feeling bothered. When you name it, the emotional center of your brain begins to quiet down and your thinking brain comes back online. And you stop letting the feeling, the emotions choose which direction you're going to go in. Practice number 3, rehearse peace. This is where you practice what you preach. Think about your predictable triggers and the situations that you already know are coming down the pipeline when you get off work, when you step off that elevator into the office, when you get out the car and walk through that parking lot. Before it happens, decide how you will respond. Rehearsing peace is how you stop being surprised by your own reactions. Next slide. So I'm going to just take you back to my beautiful kitchen that someone put a few dishes in a sink with, okay? I want to take you back to that moment because what if instead of me tightening up my chest, getting all hot and bothered, allowing my peace to leak all out on the floor, I took that sacred pause and I took that breath. What if I had paused long enough to ask, is this worth my peace being moved? Is this worth me getting upset over, getting bothered over? The answer definitely would have been no. But without the pause, I didn't even get to make that choice. The reaction that I had made it for me. So this is what it cost us when we live on autopilot in our emotions, in our reactions. And that's what we reclaim when we decide to practice peace on purpose. Peace is not your responsibility. It's not your personality. It's your practice. And when you find your peace and you live on purpose practicing your peace, you give everyone around you permission to begin to activate their peace on purpose. You change the temperature of every room that you walk into. Other people's time. And so you can start today. If something in these last few minutes stirred something in you, come find me, come connect with me. This is the work that I do every day, and it will be my honor to walk with you. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you, Miss Andrea. And yes, I can tell you come from a pastor's family. There's no doubt. I feel that in your heart and in your soul. And such wise words, to say the least. I love that. Putting peace as a verb. Perfect. All right. Well, moving on. Next up is our longtime We Care partner is Ms. Maggie Bergesser. And Maggie is a self-declared living the dream expert. I love that. And today she's going to share about how setting conscious intention in your home is part of the journey to peace for ourselves and the rest of the world. So unmute yourself and welcome to the stage, Miss Maggie.
Okay, thank you very much. And I just wanted to say I've enjoyed all the previous speakers, and it's so exciting to think and notice how much we have in common. So it's really, really been great. And so now I will get into my talk. So if you can take the next slide, please. So as already mentioned here today, some people think peace happens because of governments, treaties, world leaders, and many of us disagree. And I also believe peace begins close to home. In fact, I believe your home can become an anchor, a lightning rod, a powerful spark for peace on earth. So look around your home in every direction right now. What do you see? As you look, what's the emotional reaction in your body? Is it pleasure, horror, potential, overwhelm, hope, hopelessness? That feeling, whatever your feeling was that came up, doesn't stay inside of your walls. It influences how you speak and interact with your family, your neighbors, your coworkers, actually every person and situation you encounter. And in that way, your home is constantly broadcasting a message into the world. I see many people talking about what needs to be done out there, but they are too scattered in their thinking to get anything meaningful accomplished, whether for themselves or in the world. So let's start with ourselves. Next slide, please. Something I emphasize with clients is grounding. And I'm not talking about earthing, although that's a worthy topic. I'm talking about being emotionally, mentally, and physically grounded. And here's how I ground. Every morning, I imagine a beam of light flowing from heaven through me deep into the earth. Like the roots of a tree, it keeps me from blowing over when the winds of life get too strong. Grounding, this feeling of being solidly rooted helps turn good intentions into meaningful action. Next slide. Now, turn your attention into grounding your home. I'm a feng shui and space clearing practitioner and expert. Feng shui is not about having the furniture pretty and perfectly placed. It's all about the flow of energy in a space. So whether it's a tiny home like I live in or a big mansion, you can use the same grounding visualization we just did for ourselves. So now imagine the beam of light coming from heaven, entering your home at the top, moving through it and going deep into the earth, making your home an anchor for peace out into the world. This is the first task. This is the first task of your home. So anchor yourself, ground your home. Next slide. And now that you've grounded yourself in your home, your next step is to make this process of activating your home an anchorless effort every day. Just like you do for your body to keep it healthy by eating clean foods, drinking lots of water, and making sure to get exercise every day, do the same with your home. And when we say in feng shui, where attention goes, energy flows. How can you make sure you have a clear and clean flow of energy in your home? Get rid of things that are bringing your peace down or ruining your sense of connection. And an easy definition, you've all heard it, is clutter. Okay, so clutter is dangerous to peace. And here's an example. Perhaps you loved doing painting or something. You had a hobby of painting, and the supplies are still there, and the unfinished projects are also still there. But now you're into gardening. So every time you see those art supplies, you feel a stab of guilt. The guilt isn't just sitting quietly in a corner, though, with the art supplies. No, it's consuming your energy. It follows you through the day. It's radiating out into the neighborhood, the town, the state, the country, and the globe. Next slide. So if you recognize that you have clutter pulling your energy down, make a decision to clear just one spot a day. It could be a drawer, a countertop, a shelf, something like that. One place a day adds up very quickly to 30 spots in a month. And it's amazing how much more peaceful you feel when you accomplish such a small task, but powerful task each day. Just giving your full attention to one small place, getting rid of what you don't need or doesn't serve you anymore, and placing there what does serve you. Next slide. So here's the quickest way, the one I use a lot, to instantly uplift yourself and your home into a frequency of peace. Think about the chart that we saw earlier with Ansley. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. But your chart with the frequencies, which I'm very familiar with, where you have the lowest vibrations are the fear and guilt, and then you go up to love and connect, joy, and then so frankincense, resin, or oil have been used in temples and churches of every major religion for thousands of years to purify their space and raise their frequency. So simply inhaling frankincense oil or diffusing in your home will open this energy of peace, the frequency of energy, peace, and love in your home. Now, and as an aside, I do use frankincense oil every single day in my home and on myself, and I can tell you more about it. Quality matters. It's the same as drinking pure versus polluted water. And then if you want to get quality stuff, you can reach out to me. I'm a clinical aromatherapist as well, so I've worked with these now for 30 years and love them and give credit for much of my happiness and being the dream life expert to my world of aromatherapy. Next slide, please. So it's impossible to be an anchor for peace when your inner peace is ruptured, even with these seemingly insignificant things such as a messy desktop. They are not insignificant. They're packed with power that prevents you from being the beacon of world peace that you say you want to be. So my message to you is clear. Do your homework first. Do your homework first. Before you try to change the world, create peace in the two places where you have complete authority, yourself and your home. Ground yourself in your home. Clear what no longer serves you. Fill your space with purpose and peace. Then let that energy ripple outward into your family, your neighborhood, the community, your state, your country, the world, and beyond. Imagine what could happen if every home on earth became or made their home 10% more peaceful than it currently is. Not 100% perfect, just 10% more than it is now. Peace is not something we wait for, it's something we create. One heart, one home at a time. So that I just want to let you know I have a free offer for attendees today. I put the link in there. 3 ways to make your home an anchor for peace. You can go to maggiebergeser.com/anchor. I'll put the link. I did put the link in the chat, and then get that free guide. And then I have another one as well after that. But the free one is there. Thank you very much for being here today. I have loved listening to all the other speakers and realizing how much we have in common. And it's just amazing. So thank you. That's it.
All right. Thank you so much, Maggie. Absolutely. And I'm glad I still have some of your frankincense here as well. And I believe it is a powerful tool in helping to create peace in ourselves, in our home, and in our community. In fact, I was telling Linda Grace the other day, I thought you two, both talking about home, you guys needed to get together and chat, because you absolutely were addressing a lot of great things that have a lot of synergy, I guess is the right words. All right. Well, next up, I know I've seen Tegan here. I don't know. Is Darlene in the room with us too, or is it just you, Tegan? Yeah, I'm not hearing you.
Just me,
Just you. Okay.
unfortunately.
All right. Well, I'm gonna just kind of give some context to this, because Darlene Satori is one of our life members of We Care Partnerships Network, and she has a team at home with John and Tegan Sterling. And Tegan is here with us today. Darlene has been working for a very long time on helping challenged communities to find peace, find passion, and self-sustainability. And together, the team, their enthusiastic study of something called the Urantia book, which a lot of people haven't heard of before, has led them to develop what Darlene told me is an interfaith chaplains program to assist in providing a spiritual healing base that can allow communities to work together in peace. So with that, Tegan, go ahead and share with us about the chaplains program.
All righty. Thank you, Cheyenne. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, depending on which time zone you're in. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Minister Dr. Deborah Sterling, PhD, and on behalf, I'll get it right, of Reverend Darlene V. Satori and myself, I would like to welcome you to the Peace Forge. The subtitle of our presentation is Igniting Sparks Peace, because peace rarely begins with governments, institutions, or large organizations. Peace begins with people. It begins with simple acts of kindness, compassion, listening, understanding, and service. Building peace one home at a time. Today, we would like to share a concept we believe is both practical and powerful, and that is of the home chaplain. This vision is rooted in the belief that every person deserves compassion, every family deserves support, and every home can become a place where peace is nurtured and shared. As we begin, we invite you to imagine what might happen if every home had someone committed to bringing hope, encouragement, and spiritual support into the lives of those around them. Next slide, please. Why home chaplains? As we look around our communities today, oh, you need number 2. Yeah, thank you. As we look around our communities today, we see people struggling. Some are struggling with loneliness. Some are caring for aging parents. Some are facing illness, grief, financial hardship, or family conflict. Many people simply need someone who will listen with compassion and without judgment. The truth is that many of life's greatest challenges are not faced in hospitals, churches, or offices. They are faced at the kitchen table. They are faced in the living room. They are faced quietly within our homes. That is why we believe every home deserves a caring spiritual presence. Ideally, that presence may be a family member, a parent, grandparent, spouse, or adult child. But when that is not possible, trained home chaplains can provide encouragement, support, compassion, companionship. A home chaplain is not here to replace pastors, counselors, doctors, or caregivers. Instead, they help bridge the gaps by offering a ministry of presence, listening, encouragement, hope, because people do not begin in institutions. Peace begins at home. Next slide, please. The Urantia book. It is called the Fifth Epochal Revelation. The inspiration for the Peace Forge and the Home Chaplain's vision came from the Urantia book. For many readers around the world, the Urantia book offers a broader understanding of God, humanity, and our purpose here on earth. It presents a vision of a loving creator, a universe filled with meaning, and a world that is gradually moving towards greater truth, beauty, and goodness. In the heart of the Urantia book is the life and teachings of Jesus. Not only Jesus taught, but how he lived. He listened, he served, he encouraged, he uplifted. He met people where they were and helped them become more than they thought possible. Those same principles inspire the Home Chaplains course. The goal is not simply to teach information. The goal is to help ordinary people become a source of peace, encouragement, and loving service within their own homes and communities. In many ways, the Peace Forge is an invitation to put those things into practice. One relationship, one family, and one home at a time. Number 4, please. The need is real. Every day, people face challenges that can leave them feeling overwhelmed, isolated, and unsure where to turn. Families struggle with illness. Caregivers experience exhaustion. Seniors often face loneliness. Many people carry burdens they never speak about. In a world that seems more connected than ever through technology, many people are experiencing a deeper sense of disconnection from one to another. They need someone who will listen, someone who will care, someone who will simply be there. The home chaplain concept is built upon a simple truth. No one should have to walk life's journeys alone. A home chaplain may not have all the answers. They may not be a pastor, counselor, medical professional, but they can offer something equally important. They can offer compassion, they can offer encouragement, and they can offer hope. Sometimes the greatest gift we give another person is our willingness to walk beside them during difficult times. That is why the need is real, and that is why this work matters. Next slide, please. Document everything. One of the most important lessons we can learn is that every act of kindness, every breakthrough, every challenge, and every success has value. When we document our experiences, we create a record that can help others grow and benefit from what we have discovered. Documentation helps preserve wisdom. It helps families communicate. It helps caregivers remain informed. It helps ensure that important details are not forgotten. That documentation is more than just keeping records. It's about honoring people's stories. Okay. It's about recognizing that every life has meaning and every experience has value. As home chaplains, we are called not only to serve others, but to preserve the lessons learned along the journey. We write it down. We share the good. We carry the light forward. And as we do, we remember the words of Jesus. Love one another as I have loved you. And that's John 13:34. Next slide, please. Now, in conclusion, we believe every home should have a home chaplain or someone in the extended family who serves that role. This helps families navigate tough times together. We also believe every home should have a copy of the Urantia book alongside the Bible. Darlene and I would like to thank you for your time today, and we hope you find your own way to be part of Peace Forge, helping everyone around the world. We all have a part to play. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tegan. Absolutely understand that this is a powerful concept that can help to create more peace in our communities. And we thank you and Darlene for your efforts to bring this information to us today. So we are running just a few minutes behind schedule, but this last presentation at the moment is really kind of the setup for us to go and take a break and come back ready to get into some groups and talk about some of these things that we've been doing and what can we do to be able to create this ripple to go out with a new creation that hopefully involves a lot of the knowledge, wisdom, and services that have been talked about here today. So just to give, for those of you who don't know us, just to give you a quick idea, after surviving a health-related financial crash, Don and I learned too much about the systems that keep people caught in the poverty trap. Don was inspired to run for governor as an independent candidate and was horrified to find out how much corruption really was in that system. The conclusion? The systems we've been relying on for everything in our lives have been taking us further and further away from whatever your concept is of our creator and our higher power and the gifts that he gave to us. The solution? Real change must come from the bottom up by putting heart and soul back into education, business, and communities. And so we just want to give you a little bit of a preview here about what we hope you guys will be able to get out of our brainstorming session after the break. So, if you were to join one of our teams, and we hope you all come back after break. We know everybody's busy, but this is where the power really gets built, is through groups of people talking and working and brainstorming together. We've been in situations where we've written books, we've taught classes, we helped to create blankets that got sent to Holocaust survivors, and we created a whole suicide prevention event back 2 years ago now, I believe. Yes, 2 years ago here in Raleigh. And the most important thing we want people to remember as we prepare to go into these groups, our experiences are the most important source of our knowledge, wisdom, and ability to solve problems. Because yes, you've just gotten a whole bunch of incredible knowledge given to you, but our experiences are huge. So even if you're not somebody who's been trained in this whole idea of peacemaking, understand that your experiences have value and your voice matters in this process. Team members may come together with a common vision, or they may each have a puzzle piece that fits into a larger puzzle. Or maybe a group comes together and just says, you know what, we're just going to start from scratch and create a unique solution all on our own. We've seen all of these things happen in the community. We've done this very process in person twice in different areas of North Carolina. So we know it can work. This is our first time virtually. So welcome to the grand experiment, right? Oh dear. Some of you may recognize some of this because this is something I learned in corporate America 30-something years ago. They called them continuous improvement processes. Some people have heard, I can't even think of the name that goes with it now, agile. Everybody talks about agile in corporate now. It's gone by many names, but we call it connect, collaborate, and create community because that's our goal, is to be able to spread all of this information further into communities, whether it's in person or whether it's online. It all counts. So we've already been talking today about 3 problem areas. If you listen, there was a lot of overlap here, and that's all good. because peace is something that is woven into us individually. It's woven, hopefully, into our families. And then our big desire is to be able to take it into the community and get more people engaged. So that's part of the process for corporate America, is determining what the problems are. And we actually do have 3 different facilitators. We have Miss Gail Dixon, that you heard in the very beginning, will be our facilitator for a team for individual peace, which includes both the emotional and the spiritual. And then we're going to have Tanya Perry will be our facilitator to get you guys talking about how do we take something new out here for family peace. And then we'll have Miss Hadassah Ely will be our facilitator for community-based peace. And before we break, we'll give her just a moment to say hello as well. So these are the things that we're going to do when we come back, is to break up. And creations can be about creating a service or an event. We did our suicide prevention event 2 years ago, and it was amazing in terms of what happened with that. Some people can just want to create more sharing of knowledge. I've taught at a lot of the colleges and universities around here, and Don and we actually wrote a book, didn't we?
Yep. You surely did.
Yeah, and so much of it was based on your experience doing what?
Politics. Dirty word.
It is a dirty word. But I want you to know that what we learned there became our inspiration for everything we're doing now. Because Buckminster Fuller is one of our favorite quotes. He said, "You can't create change by fighting the existing reality. Instead, we must create new systems that make the old ones obsolete." That's what we're all about. So yes, you could end up, things are bouncing on me now. Here we go. You could end up even talking about adopting products that you want to bring out more. I know Maggie mentioned essential oils. So there's all kinds of products and services that can calm the body, calm the mind, calm the emotions. We've been doing a lot of work with PEMF devices recently, and nutrition. So there's so many ways that we can get involved in helping to spread more peace out here. And so this is the whole thing. Together, we can create our ripples of peace. And so we're going to take a 20-minute break, and we are running a little behind schedule, but I think if we plan on being back here at 12:35, we'll only be 5 minutes off. So that's not bad. So come on back at 12:35, which is more like 11:35 if you're in Central Time, and 12:35 if you're in Mountain Time. And we will then break everybody up we'll give you the option. We'll have the breakout room set up. You decide which one you want to go to, because collectively we have the power to change. And Hadassah, I know you're here somewhere. You want to say hello and just tell everybody a bit about, let me see, actually, you are the owner of CME Strategies, and you free up your client's space for innovation. That's what we're all about here, right? Innovation. So absolutely, she was prepared with a pharmaceutical science degree from North Carolina Central University and has had 2 decades in manufacturing, certifications in project management and root cause analysis, Lean Six Sigma, and problem-solving facilitation. We're so honored to have you here to help us facilitate one of these teams. Please say hello and tell them anything that I missed.
Hello, you covered it pretty well. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here. Happy to get our thoughts into some actions. And my full time is a business owner, and I love consulting in different industries. And I love listening, and I heard a lot about that. So I'm going to be doing a lot of that and then redirecting into action. So nice to meet this beautiful community today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, time is marching on, but do make an effort to get back here as close to 12:35 as you can. Like I said, we'll be setting up breakout rooms, and we'll have some conversation and see if we can create something that expands this ripple of peace that we've started.
Don't hold it back, don't leave it there. There's a moment now, can let it in your soul. Kindness ain't weakness, it's the strongest gold. When it rises up, don't let it pass. It's the kind of thing that's built to last. A simple act, a helping hand, can echo louder than you planned. Oh, we're running out of time, can't you see? What you give away comes back eventually. Life's too short to be anything but kind. Open up your heart, don't live blind. Love a little deeper, take your time. Yeah, the world needs more of your light to shine. It don't cost a thing, just change your mind. Lift someone up, leave the dark behind. If you're searching for a sign, this is it tonight. Just be kind. When life puts a moment in your hands, don't question it, just understand. There's a reason you're standing there, to give a little love, show you care. It don't take much, no heavy load, just a smile on a dusty road. A word, a touch, a little grace can turn around somebody's day. Yeah, the smallest spark can light the flame. And we're all a part of that same chain. Life's too short to be anything but kind. Open up your heart, don't live blind. Love a little deeper, take your time. Yeah, the world needs more of your light to shine. It don't cost a thing, just change your mind. Lift someone up, leave the dark behind. If you're searching for a sign, this is it tonight. Just be kind. If you got nothing good to say, just let it go. Let your actions speak what your heart knows. There's a power in the quiet, in the way you show that love's the only truth that grows. Yeah, the energy you give is what you'll find comes back around in its own sweet time. So stand up tall, let your spirit shine. Leave a little kindness behind. Life's too short to be anything but kind. Raise your voice, let it all unwind. Be the reason someone feels alright. Be the spark in the darkest night. It don't take strength to tear things down, but it takes a soul to turn it around. So if you're breathing here and now, this is your time. Just be kind. One day at a time, let it flow to every heart, to every soul. Just be kind. Yeah, just be kind. When life feels out of control, slow it down, take it back, find that middle ground. Here we go now. Say it out loud with me. Life is good. How it should be, but you're still here, and that means something. Hold your head high, look to the sky, sunshine breaking through your eyes.
You've been down, yeah, felt that way, but you're stronger than the hands of fate. Step by step, don't lose your way. There's a better side to every day.
Shake it up, don't wear that crown of doubt. You got a voice, now let it out. Life is good, even when it don't feel like it should. Stand up tall, raise your hands, take control, make your stand. Life is good.
Oh, feel that fire deep in your soul. Clap your hands, stomp your feet, find your rhythm.
Feel that beat. Stop, clap, stop, clap.
Laugh out loud, let it all go. Feel that pride in what you know. No need to hide, no test to pass. Just live your truth and make it last. Float like a feather, rise above. Push through doubt, lean into love. What you give comes back around. Lift yourself up off the ground.
Don't overthink, just stay in sync. You're stronger than you think. Life is good, even when it don't feel like it should. Stand up tall, raise your hands, take control, make your stand. Life is good.
Oh, feel that fire deep in your soul.
Let's show 'em love can last forever.
We don't need division, no lines in the sand, just a little more heart and a helping hand.
We don't need wars, no financial or religious. We're all God's people, yeah, every one of us is.
All we gotta do is believe in who we are. It's easier to love than to leave a scar.
It's not that hard, don't let it tear apart. Every little kindness lights a spark. So let's inspire together.
Make this life a dream
full of hope.
full of love, full of we.
We've got one shot,
Under the sky so wide,
lift each other up
let our spirits fly.
to the moon and the stars.
We can go that far
When we stand as one,
we shine like we are.
it's easy to be kind.
Yeah, easier than hate.
So let's inspire together before it's too late.
If you wanna feel happy, don't carry the weight. Lift your neighbor up, yeah, elevate. Don't be shy, let your love be loud. We were never meant to stand alone in a crowd.
Let it flow like a feather, don't let it weather.
This life's not about ego, we're better together.
It's not about the money, the coils, or the spoils.
It's about the fire in your soul that never boils.
Don't let fear keep love underground.
Let it rise,
Let it echo loud. So let's inspire together.
make this life a dream
Full of hope.
full of love, full of we.
We've got one shot,
Under the sky so wide,
lift each other up.
let our spirits fly.
Life gets heavy,
Here we all feel the weight.
but love breaks through.
If we don't hesitate,
Time is short,
but our hearts are pure.
let that love come out.
Let it endure.
Let's inspire together.
This is our time.
Peace and love
Gonna outshine the night.
forever and ever.
We rise as one.
This is the moment we've already won. Hands in the air, let the whole world see.
What it means when we live in unity.
Don't waste a second.
This is now or never.
Come on. Inspire together.
Inspire together.
Inspire together.
Inspire together.
We rise
We shine
forever. Let's inspire together.
Inspire together.
We have the power.
So let's inspire.